Phil, have you heard?
No.
Have you heard the news?
What news?
Hulk Hogan's not going to make it to WrestleMania.
Oh no.
He put out a tweet saying, "Sorry, brothers, I'm not going to be at WrestleMania 33." It's like saying to your mates that, like, "Oh, I can't make it to that party that I wasn't invited to." I was going to include it in the news, but there's so much other news, guys. Hello there, I'm Jack from WhatCulture.com. There's so much other news that I just didn't know where I could fit it in, so I thought I'd mention it at the start. Hulk Hogan is not going to be at WrestleMania. He will not be running in and defeating Goldberg or Brock Lesnar for the WWE Universal Championship, or will he? He won't. Let's look at all the other news from this week in the world of wrestling in the Fast Count. First, let's start off with all of this week's WWE news. It has been revealed that Kurt Angle will be inducted into the Hall of Fame by none other than John Cena. That's a very interesting choice. Cena, of course, made his on-screen debut. He had his debut match in 2002 on SmackDown against Kurt Angle, where Angle called a rookie out to the ring. John Cena was that rookie. He came in and said, "What do you bring to the..." And Angle said, "What do you bring to the table?" He said, "Ruthless aggression." Hit him in the face, unofficially kicking off the Ruthless Aggression era. Cena would, of course, go on to be one of the biggest superstars the company's ever seen, but this was his starting point on the main roster. Yeah, and I you know what, I understand that it was a significant moment in Cena's career, but was it too significant a moment in Angle's WWE career? When I think of Angle in WWE, I think of his big feud with Austin in 2001. That was fantastic. I would have quite liked to have seen Austin induct him. That would probably be my first choice. Maybe Triple H. He had a feud with Triple H that was very memorable for me personally because I was a kid. It was one of the first feuds I ever remember. Maybe one of the SmackDown 6, maybe Edge or someone like that. It just feels as though Cena inducting Kurt is a little bit more for Cena than it is for Angle himself. But I guess at the end of the day, the big story really is that Kurt Angle is going into the Hall of Fame, and it's long overdue. You know, he's one of the best wrestlers in the history of wrestling, I think it's fair to say. Certainly one of the most popular WWE superstars ever as a heel or a babyface. It's fully deserved. I'm just a little iffy about Cena inducting him. Secondly, what is going on with the SmackDown announce team? Mauro Ranallo, as you probably know by now, missed SmackDown on Tuesday because of a snowstorm. But then JBL made a big point of saying at the start of the broadcast, "We're here live, there's no snow outside." Why would you say that? He's throwing shade at Mauro Ranallo, isn't he? Since then, Mauro and JBL's been tweeting and deleting. He's been throwing out tweets and deleting them, and it's hard to tell whether he's firing genuine shots at Mauro or whether it's just a bit of friendly bants between colleagues like we have, Phil. Friendly bants.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not confirmed whether there is genuine heat there between Mauro and the rest of the SmackDown announce team, but Taz did, he fired explicit shots at Mauro on his podcast when he basically put forward the argument, look, there's no excuses, you've got to make the show. Mauro's from Canada, he's had experience with difficult conditions throughout his life. He should have known there was a storm coming, he should have got there early, and then he would have made the show. It's hard to really know which side to take here, because yeah, it seems a little bit unprofessional of Mauro, but at the same time, we don't really know what circumstances he was facing. Maybe there was some problems at home, maybe there was some it could have been anything. Maybe he genuinely was just a bit unprepared and caught by the snow. It's a weird one, and I think Dave Meltzer said something along the lines of there's more to this than meets the eye, but he's not going to say too much. It's very confusing. I personally think this is the first step in Mauro Ranallo being replaced on SmackDown commentary by King Ross. I dream of a team of King Ross and JBL behind that announce desk, and I'm sure you do as well. And finally, the Wrestling Observer have reported that this is pretty much WWE's planned match, probably, for WrestleMania 34 next year in New Orleans. And if you don't want to know it, Phil, if you could just pop a spoiler, a red spoiler sign up there. And if you don't want to know it, just skip ahead in the video until that goes away, I guess. Will that work?
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. Well, we'll start that now. Okay, the main event of WrestleMania 34 is supposed to be Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. Now, I covered this in a bit more detail in its own video yesterday, which you can find on the channel, but basically, it's WWE trying to push Reigns again as the face of the company, the big baby face, the new Cena. Of course, he's not been accepted at all by great sections of the audience, and I just can't help but think that if he does beat Lesnar in the main event of WrestleMania 34, that it will get they'll be a little bit annoyed. However, the Observer did state that even though, I guess this match is just speculation at this point, but even if it is true, they've stated that this doesn't necessarily mean that Roman is going to defeat The Undertaker next month at WrestleMania 33, nor does it mean that Lesnar is going to hold the Universal Championship for the whole year. But they did say that that match, Lesnar versus Reigns, would probably be for the Universal Championship. So I guess there's nothing we can do but wait and see how it plays out. And now you know what time it is. It's time for all the news from elsewhere in the world. I don't know what that was. The NXT title match has been confirmed for TakeOver Orlando, and it is Bobby Roode versus Shinsuke Nakamura. We already knew that Nakamura was going to be the #1 contender. He was due a rematch for the belt that he lost back at TakeOver San Antonio. Thanks for jumping in there when I was struggling, mate. Cheers. We didn't know who was going to be the champion heading into that match. It's now confirmed that it's going to be Bobby Roode still. He defeated Cassius Ohno in a title match on NXT this week. There's a new world champion over at Impact Wrestling, and it's Bobby Lashley again. And this is really, really weird because El Patron came out and had been forced to surrender the belt back to him. I've got several problems with this. First of all, the reason that everyone was so dubious about Alberto's new title win was that he won by hitting Lashley with the belt when the referee's back was turned. People win titles like that all the time. Phil's probably won a title like that back when he used to wrestle, because do you remember when he used to wrestle?
I do.
I've revealed it to these lads. Phil used to wrestle, guys. I can't say what his wrestling name was because kayfabe and all that, you know. But Phil probably won a title by devious means, yeah?
No, I never won.
You never won a title?
No.
Well, El Patron did on Impact, and now they've gone, no, that's not allowed, you've got to give the belt back. And that's ridiculous. Imagine if they'd done that with AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose, because he kicked Dean below the belt when the referee's back was turned. They didn't do that for him. Why have they done it now with Alberto El Patron in Impact Wrestling? Also, why is the title not now vacant? It's back on Bobby Lashley. I thought in this sort of circumstance, when a wrestler wins a title and then it's all a bit dubious and then they surrender it, I thought it was made vacant. I thought that was generally the done thing in wrestling. But in Impact, for some reason, they've gone, no, we're going to give this straight back to Bobby Lashley. It's really strange. And then El Patron asked him for another match for the belt this week, and instead they put him in a match with EC3, and he beat EC3. I don't know I really don't know what's going on over there. If someone can explain, please get in touch, please. And finally, Adam Cole, baby, is no longer Ring of Honor World Champion. He lost the belt last weekend at the promotion's 15th anniversary show in Las Vegas. And that brings us really swiftly. Well, first of all, I will say that Adam Cole is now, well, he was officially the most successful Ring of Honor World Champion ever in terms of the amount of title reigns. He's held the belt 3 times, more than anyone else in the history of the promotion, but he did lose it last weekend, which brings us swiftly on to
Wrestler of the Week.
Wrestler of the Week. I'm not sure what that jingle's about, but I don't like it. It's a bit disturbing. It's my voice auto-tune. I sound like T-Pain. My Wrestler of the Week is Christopher Daniels, the man who defeated Adam Cole for that Ring of Honor World Championship. And man, it was a good match, but there was a better match this week between Kenny Omega and Tomohiro Ishii over in New Japan. But here on Wrestler of the Week, it's not just about great matches, it sometimes is, but it's also about great storytelling. And Christopher Daniels' world title win was a perfect example of that. For those who aren't really too familiar with Daniels, I'll give a quick history lesson. He is a veteran now of the independent scene. He's plied his trade in Ring of Honor and TNA and countless other promotions for, man, like almost 2 decades now, I want to say. Do you think about that? Yeah, he's always killed it. He's never really gone downhill. He's a veteran and he's phenomenal. And he's well, I say phenomenal. It's ironic you should say that because for many years he was kind of the other side of the AJ Styles coin. They fought together a lot. They feuded, they teamed, and all the rest of it. Finally, Daniels won this opportunity at the Ring of Honor World Championship by winning the Decade of Excellence tournament, which earned him a title shot. And then his long-term tag partner Frankie Kazarian turned on him and joined the Bullet Club. Now immediately the internet blew up when this happened. They went, Bullet Club are taking on too many members, this is stupid. Then in this match, in the Ring of Honor title match, Kazarian ran out to interfere. Everyone was like, oh, here we go. This is heartbreaking. Daniels never won the big one. This was his chance to win the big one. And it's going to get ruined by Kazarian because he joined the Bullet Club. Kazarian ripped off his Bullet Club t-shirt to reveal a Christopher Daniels t-shirt. It was a double, like a kind of a fake swerve, not swerve, double swerve U-turn. Then, of course, Daniels took advantage of this. He won the match clean, I must admit. Like, Kazarian didn't interfere physically. Daniels won the match after hitting 3 of his finishes, the best moonsault ever. Won the title, emotional scenes everywhere. He's finally won the big one. And he's like 40 now or something, man. He really, really deserves it. And I couldn't think of anyone else better suited to this week's Wrestler of the Week. So that's all for this week on The Fast Count. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Jack from WhatCulture.com. Are you looking forward to the next 2 weeks leading up to WrestleMania? I don't know if I am. I don't know how they're going to fill so much TV time. All the storylines seem to be rapidly closing. I don't know what other twists and turns WWE can pull out. Are you looking forward to other things elsewhere in the world of wrestling? Let us know. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.
Bullet Club are invading WCPW as this Monday, WCPW returns to Manchester. See the first ever Magnificent 7 match featuring Martin Kirby, the villain Marty Scurll, Doug Williams, the Kiwi Buzzsaw Travis Banks, King Ricochet, the Mexican sensation El Ligero, and BT Gunn as they compete for a future shot at the WCPW World Championship. Adam Cole challenges Zack Sabre Jr. The Swords of Essex defend their tag team titles against Prospect, Liam Slater and Matt Riddle, and stepping in the WCPW ring for the first time ever, the Young Bucks. And in the main event, the prestigious Joe Coffey faces Drew Galloway for the WCPW Championship. WCPW proudly presents Bulletproof. Watch on YouTube for $9.99 or sign up to WhatCulture Extra now and watch Bulletproof live for just $6.99 a month.